So I have to disappoint you because I think if this was a session for technology, so I'm actually talking about the legal and organizational interoperability
not really,
issues.
sorry, it just we switching all the time, so we never know. Just with your timeline, you have to be the third session. It's okay.
Okay. So basically, I'm very happy to have a chance to report on activity that we have been now running for about a year. So working in a project dealing with the climate change adaptation, and looking at the legal and organizational issues that we are basically need to be taken into account when we leverage open science, open data to support climate adaptation. Just a quick word about the CODATA. So it's a basically hybrid organization in the sense that we are a membership organization serving global audience of national data committees, scientific academies, and so on. But we also are an expert organization, so we have a secretariat and a large group of consultants that can actually basically take on targeted projects related to some aspects of the open science. And we work also with the partners, including APAN, that we concluded an MOU late last year. So happy to be here on this. So just to sort of start with some kind of definitions related to legal and organizational interoperability. So in the European landscape, there's quite a lot of talk about the lots. So we have legal interoperability, we have organizational interoperability, then we have technical and semantic one. And of course, these are interlinked, but the key stakeholders are slightly different. So if we talk about the legal interoperability, this is basically a domain of typically, if you in a corporate environment, this would be the chief legal officer domain, and really focused on compliance, looking at the, let's say, long-term risk reduction in the sense that, okay, somebody comes up after a few years and say that, okay, you shouldn't have done it and so on. If you're talking about the open data, then in the ideal case, we have legal use conditions that are clearly and readily determinable, and basically these allow you to combine and create derived products based on these different open data sets, and you don't need the case-to-case authorization. Now, reality in many cases, we may have licenses, but they might not be compatible with each other, or they are not defined, or they can be hard to find. So in some cases, what we ran into this situation is that everybody just knew that this kind of data can be freely used, but it was basically based on national law, so you couldn't easily find from the data set that, okay, this is the rule that allows you to use it. Then in less best case, we need case-by-case authorization for example, privacy or security reasons, or then you might have situations where even you don't really know who would be the organization giving you the permission to use the data, because it might have been actually sort of noted that it is created by a project, so not the legal entity. And of course, climate adaptation doesn't really adhere to national borders, so you end up more or less automatically to deal with the multiple legal frameworks. Now, organizational interoperability, one of the starting points would be this sort of chief operations officer. So looking into how the system works, how we can actually make sure that it works also in somewhat exceptional circumstances. So we have created something, a software workflow, and it works today, but how do we know, will it work tomorrow? Will it work 5 to 10 years from now, when people who work with it now might have left the organization? Looking into how we work with the across organizational boundaries, and then what happens if things go wrong? If you have multiple organizations involved, then let's say the service recovery gets a little bit complex. On the European side, you could say that we are quite well sort of making progress in terms of monitoring. So at least we know if things don't work, we can actually sort of start to look into this, and we get this information about what is sort of the average reliability of certain resources. And then on some of the thematic infrastructures, so for example, this computing grid for the high energy physics, they have maybe more sort of advanced specific discipline-based approaches to this. The challenges we have today, if you ever read through a service level agreement or memorandum of understanding, this take time. They require human assessment in a way to make sense that, okay, are we what can we actually expect from each other? So if you come from the outside, if you're not part of the team that actually has negotiated this agreement, then it can be a little bit time intense process. We also have this, let's say, the need to describe the business processes. So for each of the organizations participating in this group. So then, for example, the European Interoperability Framework mentions 12 different ways of describing the business processes. So it's like the typical case of it's nice to have standards because you have so many to choose from. So in practice, a lot of it is basically running based on this sort of don't look up in a way, that we have been doing this so far and it works. So let's not look too carefully into these issues because we trust each other. There's sort of sense of urgency. We need to get this system running, and we have let's say the policies in a sense that okay, we have always done this. There are sort of certain edges of the cliff that we might be running over. So I think these issues are becoming more sort of aware in a way that there is a more awareness of the legal and organizational issues. The risk landscape is changing. I think also artificial intelligence will be changing this because lots of these human-driven processes are actually becoming automated for better or worse. And I think this sort of removing the human from the loop actually makes it more important that we define these things more carefully. Now going into this specific project called Climate Data for EOSC. So the project is a typical European project, so 18 partners. So it's actually slightly longer than typical. So its runtime is 4 years. So we have just concluded the first year, and we are looking into 8 countries. And the idea is to create let's say innovation environment for that is using open science, that you can then do research project, innovation projects, and deploy services to help climate change adaptation. There are 3 use cases that are basically developed in one location, and then the idea is that these will be replicated in 3-4 areas, and basically sort of to validate that the model works independent of the specifics of individual location. So the first case is looking into the urban heat, and here the interesting thing is because we have data scales from planet to an individual. So the idea is to help the individual persons, members of the vulnerable populations, to better cope with the heat stress. And this means that you have fully open climate data, but then also personal data, and then things like informed consent when you maybe not have a common language and so on. These become very interesting issues. The second is basically looking into coastal and estuary hazards. So looking at the ports, basic protected areas and so on. So we have a bit of this balancing act in a way that we look into protecting the environment, at the same time making sure that the supply chains workers are protected, food security is maintained with the climate change that is bringing these extreme weather events and so on. So balancing these goals, and also this brings things like trade secrets and high financial stakes, because you have the global part of the global supply chain going through these ports and so on. So you don't want to share information between companies that are competing with each other. And the final one is looking into shrinking and swelling of clay soils. So especially in France, this is sort of a problem that is acknowledged and known very well. So I think the average losses per year is about 1 billion euro, because when these clay soils, they swell when they get wet, and then when they dry, they sort of shrink, and then they break houses, they break roads and other critical infrastructures. Now, this is sort of in terms of data policy and so on, this is very well managed in France. And then the interesting case is that in other countries, this is less centralized and so on. So how we sort of transform a process and service that is developed in different framework into another. So to look into what we, in terms of CODATA and the partners working with the legal and organizational issues are doing. So we have completed the first pass of the literature state-of-the-art review. We have also done initial modeling of the data flows on these case studies and identified some of the obstacles and enablers in them. So coming into these situations where really digging into that, okay, how did you determine that this data set can be used? What we're going to do next is basically start to describe this formally, building on different standards like DPV, ODRL, and so on, and building this metadata. So basically taking this legal and organizational interoperability competence and creating semantic framework that allows us to describe them in a way that is machine actionable and so on. And then little by little look into what are the things that we can automate and then coming up with taking a step back and coming up with the recommendations and framework also on a policy side. So this is going to be the next 2 years. So we are continuing the work and then expanding it, coming into this sort of technical solutions that will help to streamline these processes. There is the state-of-the-art review. So what we did is looking into different kind of foundational legal frameworks. So what are the IPR agreements? Of course, in Europe, we are looking into the general data protection regulations and some of the other sort of these policies. And then also how these relate to open source licensing, Creative Commons, and so on. So these specific IPR issues. We analyzed a couple of the domain-specific approaches, so maybe 2 extremes in terms of privacy. So we have health and climate, and what are these organizational and legal issues in them. And then looking at the existing frameworks that are used to resolve this, and then more from the cultural side and what is sort of underpinning some of these activities. So things like science diplomacy, how this actually relates to how it actually drives some of the developments in legal and organizational areas. Then we looked at the specifics of the Open Science Cloud. So again, starting from the cultural background, so how it actually evolved, and then going through some of the strategic documents and then implementation guidelines, project deliverables that are then more sort of specific in terms of that these are the things that you can do. Finally, technical frameworks, different kind of scientific collaboration and trust models and topographies in a way that how they work. And then we did this initial analysis of the use cases. And this document will be available on Zenodo in very near future. So there's a QR code for the project website. So we should announce that very soon. And as I said, this will be used as a starting point for more in-depth analysis and frameworks. We are also in a process of discussing these rescoping the RDA CODATA legal interoperability interest group. And the goal is to have a session at the next RDA in-person plenary in the fall. And then looking at the synergies with other activities that CODATA is involved in. So there is this cross-domain interoperability framework that CODATA is sort of driving the development of, and the part of that work is looking into the advanced permissions definitions. So making sure that whatever we come up in this project is also aligned and contributes to this cross-domain interoperability framework. And then on the policy side, there's the data policy for times of crisis. So next steps there will be actually launching a survey for organizations and individuals involved in different kinds of crisis management and risk reduction activities. So for now, I don't have any better URLs than the announcement on there, but if you want to know more about that, then the QR will take you to the UNESCO site there. And with this, I would be happy to move on to any questions you might have.
Any question from the audience? Any question online? Not really. Then quick question. What is the time frame are you planning to you think that we would have the second workshop for APAN and CODATA online, virtual one?
That's actually something that we need to discuss. I think we might be talking about realistically the March time frame, but I think we would need to look into either co-locating the next workshop or then finding a gap in a way between ones. So yeah, it's a good point. The RDA event is in beginning of March, if I remember, so we should avoid overlap on that. But maybe after that.
Okay. Then we have to talk further. Okay. Nope. Any question? Okay, no, thank you, Matti.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I think one guy, one. What question, please? Is it? No. Over the, okay, no. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Just sorry. Prof, please. Second speaker from DataCite, Mohamad Mostafa is a community specialist from DataCite. His title will be Advancing Open Science and Research Visibility, DataCite Adoption Insight from APEC. The floor is yours. Please share.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. And hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you for the second time. So yeah, I hope that you all can see my screen now. So yeah, again, hello everyone. I am Mohamad Mostafa, Community Specialist at DataCite, and I am more than happy to be connecting with you today to share some insights and use cases from the APAC community, how they are using DataCite services. But before talking about DataCite and what we do, I just want to briefly to touch on the 2021 UNESCO recommendation on open science, where the UNESCO identified 4 important pillars to help communities and research organizations to transit and achieve open science. So we are talking about open scientific knowledge. So here we talk about using open access for research publications, adopting open research data models, using open educational resources. And the second pillar is around open science infrastructure, whether the virtual or the physical infrastructure. Third and fourth pillars are around open engagement and open dialogue. For the concern of time, I will just wanted to briefly touch on the open science infrastructure pillar. In 2022, the following year, we see the UNESCO published this statement about open science infrastructure pillar in particular. And again, I shared my slides, and you can access also all of the statement and the declarations using these links. So it's a 6 pages document. I highly recommend everyone to go through it and to read it. So the UNESCO is talking about the definition of open science infrastructure. So they highlighted, for example, if a country or a university is running an open access repository or a publishing platform to disseminate journal articles, or within this open access repository, the organization is disseminating a wide range of research outputs and the resources such as research data or dissertation, thesis, various research outputs produced by a specific research organization or collected on a national level. So this is considered an open research infrastructure, and like universities and research institutions should invest resources in this infrastructure. But what I wanted to highlight briefly, what was mentioned at the first page of this statement, highlighting the importance of adopting persistent identifiers. So the critical component of open science infrastructures allow unambiguous identification of scientific items. So here they are referring to various scientific research outputs and resources. So how we can do that identification by unique persistent identifiers. And we can see they referred to or cited various types of persistent identifiers, such as Oracle IDs for academic academic researchers, DOIs or DataCite DOIs for datasets and other identifiers as well. So I thought this would be a good brief intro slides before talking about DataCite and what we do. So DataCite is a global community of research organizations. All of these organizations are coming together because we really want to enhance research infrastructure. We want to maximize the reusability of research outputs and resources that universities and other research organizations are producing. And here we can see that NRENs and research and educational network, as you will see in my upcoming use cases and slides, play a key role to support that. DataCite is a non-profit organization registered in Germany since we started in 2009. So within the DataCite community, we have a wide spectrum of organizations who will join DataCite. So we have over 1,700 organizations that are part of our community. So we talk about universities, we talk about national libraries, we talk about NRENs as well, who will join DataCite, whether they want to register DOIs for national level repositories that NRENs are maintaining, or to establish a DataCite consortia to open the door for NRENs member on their countries or in the region to register DataCite DOIs. We have members across 67 countries, and our members collectively have registered over 112 million DOIs so far. And just to give you an idea about the usage of DataCite DOIs, in 2025, DataCite DOIs have received over 1 billion resolutions. So this can give you an idea about how DataCite DOIs are being used, accessed, and also how the DOI metadata information associated with these DOIs are being retrieved across different citation engines and discovery databases. So within DataCite, we have various services. The core one, of course, is to give that infrastructure to institutions, to give them the opportunity to create and manage persistent identifiers, in particular DOIs. And while giving them the opportunity to register DOIs, we allow them also to register DOIs. We have that infrastructure that will give them the opportunity to register rich metadata information about these outputs and the resources. And also they have the opportunity to register DOIs for a wide range of research outputs and the resources, as I will explain more in my upcoming slide. But it's not only about registering a DOI, it's about the integrated services. So these DOIs can be integrated, or the DataCite infrastructure can be integrated within your repositories infrastructure, within your publication platform, to make it easy for institutions to manage and register DOIs. And beyond registering DOIs, it's also about facilitating discoverability and increasing reusability of research outputs. So the associated metadata information for the DOIs that DataCite members are registering with us will be discoverable and visible in an open format across various discovery engines and citation databases. So as you can see here, this is a screenshot from DataCite Fabrica, and as you can see, the 1,700 organizations that are part of DataCite community are registering a wide range of outputs with DOIs. So from datasets, reports, articles, books, and book chapters as well, dissertation and thesis. A lot of universities are producing theses and dissertations. These outputs should be visible and connected also with the broader community. So I just will touch briefly on the importance of DOIs. So DOIs play a key role in enhancing visibility and discoverability as well, because they are permanent identifiers. When we assign DOIs for these outputs, we also acknowledging the effort that researchers have put to produce this data set, or to produce or publish this dissertation. So we are giving recognition to these outputs besides journal articles that will usually receive a DOI from the publisher. We also connect our existing systems, existing repositories with global ecosystems, because as I highlighted, the DOI metadata has the ability to be retrieved across various systems, increasing also potential opportunities for getting more citations, increasing opportunities for academic researchers to have broader collaboration as well with their peers, and overall embracing and implementing open science and open research practices. In terms of connecting research, so we wanted to highlight the DataCite Commons. It's an open platform. This is the URL, commons.datasite.org. Everyone can access it. And what we are displaying in Commons here is the open metadata information for the 112 million DOIs registered by DataCite members. So you can see the metadata information about these outputs openly available under the work section. We are also retrieving some DOIs from Crossref, in particular for journal articles that cited outputs with DataCite DOIs. Commons also has an integration with ORCID, so we can display information about academic researchers and contributors who authored these outputs and the resources. Also, Commons has an integration with ROR, the Research Organization Registry. It's a unique identifier for research organizations. So the ultimate goal for us is to build this bit graph so we can track different connections between, for example, organizations that fund different research activities. And we also can build the connections between these outputs and the resources. So yeah, so within Commons, as I highlighted, so we can see briefly this example. So this is an example for a software script that has been published in an open access format, uploaded to the university repository, and we can see that they assigned a DOI for this output. And because the output itself has a DOI, another journal article has a DOI cited this software script. So now we are able to track the connection between these two different objects, a journal article and a software script. And this could apply if a dissertation with a journal article, research data with a journal article as well. So yeah, I wanted to highlight some use cases from the APAC region, in particular, a use case from the National Research Council of Thailand. But before that, I want to highlight what we are seeing globally now is there is a huge interest in adopting persistent identifiers around the globe. So RDA published a few years ago a checklist led by colleagues or a working group who established this work around to how institutions can build their national persistent identifier strategies. And we see this developing around the globe. So for example, in Africa, we see NREN's effort or work led by NREN's, like we have OpenNet Alliance, ASREN, that will implement persistent identifiers in Africa. We see also similar effort in the United States. And just last year in France, they published their national open science policy that has an open persistent identifiers pillar. I want to focus quickly on this use case from the National Research Council of Thailand. So NRCT has been a DataCite direct member since 2012, and then we worked closely with them and started a conversation to transit them from being a direct member to a DataCite consortium lead in Thailand. Through this model, we opened the door for various universities and research institutions across Thailand to benefit from DataCite infrastructure and register DOIs. This was also aligned with NRCT vision to embrace UNESCO recommendation on open science and also enhance research infrastructure on Thailand on a national level. So yeah, as a result of this collaboration that started in 2025, we have 6 universities or 6 institutions. Not all of them are universities. We have 3 universities, 1 research institution, and we have, for example, the Assembly Library of Thailand joined also the consortium because they maintain the Parliament open access repository, and they have a lot of reports and data sets there that they want to assign DOIs for. So collectively, within the first phase of the consortium, in 2025, these organizations registered over 10,000 DUIs. As you can see from this screen, this is a screenshot from Commons, and I also added URLs here if you want to access this. We can see now that these organizations are registering DUIs for a wide range of outputs and resources, and also collectively they are benefiting from DataCite infrastructure. With a focus also on one of the consortium organization, as I highlighted, we can see the Parliamentary Repository of Thailand is registering over 1,000 DUIs in 2025 and 2026. They are providing rich metadata information. They provide the metadata information in the Thai language, which is fantastic. And as you can see, they are registering DUIs for a wide range of outputs like reports, text files, and research data sets as well. So yeah, maybe we can just have a quick look. So this is the repository. This is how the DUI work. When we click on the DUI, we are currently redirected to the landing page of that report or that article at the repository website. So now we have access to the repository webpage, and we can see the metadata information. As you can see here, they are registering it through DataCite infrastructure Fabrica, and it's available in an open access format. We can see also more information like the dates, the publishers, the right section, and here we have the DUI. So this is the unique identifier for this particular research outputs, and this report is part of a broader collection. So they are doing this taxonomy as well, and we can see also when it comes to citation, we can see always we will see the DUI or that identifier attached to the citation statement. So this is just a brief example of one of the consortium members in Thailand. So yeah, within also the Asia Pacific community, we have many members, whether they are a direct member or leading a DataCite consortia in their countries. I included here some examples. We have the Australian Research Data Commons, ARDC in Australia is leading a DataCite consortia, bringing over, I think, 60 different research organizations and institutions from Australia to benefit from DataCite infrastructure and register DUIs for a wide range of outputs and resources. And I believe my colleague Tricia is having a presentation, and she will share more details about ARDC and the fantastic work that they are doing in Australia. Similarly, we have also various DataCite consortia in Japan, in Thailand, we highlighted that. In South Korea, we have KISTI, a DataCite member, and also in China and New Zealand. So yeah, as I highlighted earlier, DataCite is a membership organization. So if you are an NREN and you are interested, or if you are representing a university and you want to know more about DataCite, we would love to hear and connect with you. So we have various options for organization to join. The first model is a direct membership. So this is when one university or one organization will join DataCite as a direct member, and they can benefit from our infrastructure. However, the model that we found works really well with NRENs is establishing a consortia. So this is where the NREN or the national level organization will be here as a consortium lead, and then they open the door for various institutions like universities and organizations to benefit from DataCite infrastructure and register DUIs. Consortia can support all the NREN members in this case, and it can be opened also to other institutions that have outputs and collections to register with DUIs. The consortium approach has several advantages, including, that sustainability as well. When a national level organization is leading this effort, a cost-effective model, it enhances also the research infrastructure on a national level, and also enable open science and put open science in action. So this is a few examples from the NRENs that we work with across the DataCite community, and you can see the diversity as well. We have NRENs from Africa, we have NRENs from the Middle East, we have NRENs from Europe, so we have the diversity as well with the various NRENs that are using DataCite services. And this is my last slide, where I want to acknowledge that we are fully aware that in some regions, in some communities, there are some challenges around these persistent identifiers, how they can be adopted, what is the added value. There is also limited policies around supporting open science. In some communities, there are some challenges around our underlying infrastructure, like lack of data repositories, for example. So we see an opportunity. We acknowledge all of these challenges, but we see also an opportunity to work together with DataCite to increase and raise awareness among your community, explore a path to adopt these persistent identifiers on a national level as well, and building that community of practice to make sure that your members can benefit from DataCite infrastructure and use our services. So yeah, with this slide, I think I finished my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions from the floor? Yes, sir. Come up here.
Okay, good evening. Myself, Mohamad. My question is, in 2024, we applied for DataCite award. Unfortunately, maybe for some criteria we didn't get the grant. But due to the higher range of prices, we also couldn't convince our authority to purchase the DataCite. Okay, actually our plan were to implement metaverse and DataCite together, and also integrate that DataCite UI to our existing DSpace and other where applicable. Okay, so can you say something about that? How can we very easily get that from our university? Because not only my university, most of our universities are very much interested to integrate the DUI, because our research in Bangladesh mostly unprotected. There are no persistent URLs, and most of our DSpaces doesn't have handles also for persistent URLs, and some of our libraries doesn't even have the authority to implement the handle also. So there must be an easy way for us to integrate everything so that our research can go to the international community, and also we can cite back. So please.
Great. Yeah, this is a very good point, and I really want to thank you for highlighting this. And the point that you touched on is the challenges, the financial challenges, and we fully acknowledge that. And that's why, for example, we have the consortium model. So you asked us about a path where we can see this could work for your community. So we started a conversation, I think, last year with Bedrin. So I hope that anyone from Bedrin who is here and listening to us, with Mr. Mohamad, I think the CEO of Bedrin. So I think if we can come together and revisit this conversation around establishing a DataCite consortia in Bangladesh, similar to what we did with the colleagues in Thailand, and opening the door for universities and organizations in Bangladesh who really wants to benefit from this. As you highlighted, repositories there lack the use of bids, lack the use of handles, identifiers. I think this could be a good path for collaboration. And you also highlighted two important use cases. Now you are a university, you are maintaining two repositories. You highlighted that you have a DSpace general repository, which is really good, where I assume you are publishing your reports, your dissertations there, but you are also considering establishing a Dataverse data repository, which is also fantastic. So under your membership, you can connect these different systems, these different repositories with DataCite infrastructure and register DUIs for your outputs. So I believe, and we also, like, besides your institution, we are receiving various inquiries from institutions in Bangladesh. So I really hope that we can work with Bedrin to find a path for this. to establish this DataCite consortium there. So I would appreciate, you can see my email ID is here if you wish to connect with me further. Regarding the first point that you highlighted, yeah, so the fund that you applied for is DataCite Global Access Fund. So it's an initiative launched by DataCite to provide financial support for organizations around the globe who are facing financial barriers, but they want also to develop and enhance their open research infrastructure. We launched 2 calls so far in 2024 and 2025, but we are still exploring the opportunity also if we have the financial capacity also to launch a third round. So we'll definitely let you know. But for now, we see a good path of collaboration with ThaiREN to support the universities in Bangladesh.
Okay. Further question? Wow. Okay.
This is Shami Mohamad, CEO of Knowledge8. Yes, thank you for the presentation. I mean, very insightful indeed. Yes, my point is collaboration. Yes, I can tell you that e-resource, we definitely look forward to e-resource as much as you can. You may know, in association with BDREN, we are promoting e-resources, especially e-books, e-journal via BDREN, and one more consortium, Library Consortium Bangladesh, in association with Bangladesh Academy of Sciences. Yes, your collaboration is very important, like the model you have shown in Thailand. Yes, definitely I will come to you via your email. Let's hope for the best. We look forward to collaborate with you and look for the opportunity to do so. Thank you very much.
Then that's not a question. Anyway, with the time.
Great, thank you so much, Mr. Mohamad. Yeah.
Okay, that's nothing. We just want to collaborate more. Okay, thank you, Mohamad. I have to move to the third speaker, Iryna Kuchma from Electronic Information for Libraries. And then her topic will be Open Access Program Manager. Floor is yours, Iryna.
Good afternoon. Thanks a lot, sir. Apologies for not joining in person and speaking virtually. But I would like to share some resources and collaboration opportunities that could help you build open access and open science skills and competencies. EIFL is an organization that works with National Library Consortia in Asia, Africa, and Central and Eastern Europe. And one of our areas of work is to support research, teaching, and learning by enhancing open science and open research skills. And we believe that communities approach works the best. And we have an open science trainers community that meets regularly, has a mailing list, includes almost 100 members, and it's a group that anyone who is interested in running your open access and open science trainings could join and benefit from sharing experiences with colleagues, learning from colleagues, and also creating resources together. And one example from last year is a set of resources on sharing research software, because sometimes when especially librarians need to run open science training events, they might not feel so comfortable in talking about research software because they don't have hands-on experience. And many researchers are interested in creating open software and sharing it. So we, as a community of trainers, created these 2 guides, sharing research software and licensing research software under an open license that could help researchers and also trainers to support more open research software sharing. Also, we have a resource that we keep up to date regularly. It's called Digital Research Literacy Training Program Outline for Librarians who are training researchers and students. And it's a PDF, and it's also an online resource that covers a number of topics from discovering content, managing research data, sharing research data, writing data management plans, to research integrity, choosing effective publishing strategy, open access, publishing, institutional repositories, preprints, persistent identifiers, as Mohamad was talking about, DOIs, and also using social media for research and measuring impact. And this training program includes resources, reusable training materials that could help you increase your knowledge and also help you run your training events on those topics. We also have a resource on artificial intelligence and open science training, how artificial intelligence could be addressed in open science training activities. Very popular resource is how to choose the best journal for publishing your research. And again, it's a checklist for researchers and librarians. Researchers can use it when they're looking for a journal to publish in, or librarians could use it when they organize training events. So it could be part of hands-on activity at training. And also Mohamad was talking about DOIs, but there are persistent identifiers for organizations ROR. And last year we launched a campaign in our member institutions to check whether they have an open research organization identifier, and if they don't have, register for it, it's free. Or also update the record if the raw record is not up to date. And to support that campaign, we created a resource, how to check whether your organization has a raw ID and get one if it doesn't. Another area of support that we have is supporting journal editors and publishers and libraries in managing open access journals that don't charge any fees, neither to authors nor to readers, often referred to as diamond open access journals or no fee open access journals. And we have a guide on quality, how to ensure that your diamond open access journal adheres to current quality standards, and a guide on using generative artificial intelligence tools in diamond open access publishing. Also last year we hosted 10 webinars on using free and open source software for managing journals, open journal systems. And materials from those 2 webinars are collected in this one resource where you can see what are the current best practices on multilingualism or statistics or upgrades or any other topics. Repositories are also very important, and I would like to reference a recent research that confirmed that content which is available in repositories is cited higher long-term. So really, repositories ensure higher long-term citation rates. They are instrumental in enhancing academic industry collaborations, and they're really great in showcasing institutions or national research outputs. And for those of you who are managing repositories, we have some resources on maximizing the benefits of repositories in your institution for institutions, and also embedding repositories in research workflows for researchers, how the repositories could be useful for them, best practices for repository managers, and also repository workflows and day-to-day jobs of repository managers. All our resources are available on our website, EIFL.net resources, and you can check more. And also, EIFL is a member of OpenAIRE, which is an organization promoting open access infrastructure for research in Europe, and OpenAIRE also has a community of practice for training coordinators. It's a community that anyone who is interested in coordinating open science training could join, and you can find more information about this community on this website. Thank you, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
From the floor. Online. Anyone? Okay. No, you have one.
Iryna, this is Gus.
Hello, Gus.
Okay, in the morning session, we had a speaker from the Agriculture Research Center. Susmita was, she was introduced her recent activity, and in her talk, she said she's gonna have some diamond related the event in February. So maybe I will let you know in detail. Tomorrow we're gonna meet up with her, and if there's a collaboration between BARC and the EIFL, that's gonna be fun.
Thanks a lot for this information. Thank you.
Yeah, also the in the text in online text. Also, Mohamad Mostafa saying that the next week, CODATA Connect session gonna have hosted a part of the 3rd Global Summit on Diamond Open Access in India. He'll give a talk there. So there's another event that next week that you could get information on that. Any further question here? There? No? Okay. Thank you, Iryna. Thank you. Next speaker, Yushin. Is it? Okay. Next speaker.
Hello.
Yushin from yes.
Hi.
Please share your Please share your screen. International Collaboration Manager, Division of Research Management Computer Network Information Center of the Chinese Academy of Science, and the title is the IT Practice of the Computer Network Information Center Chinese Academy of Science related to open and sharing data, open science. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Professor Chai. So can you see the presentation?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this is a brief introduction about CNIC of CAS. Now we are doing some type of alignment related to open science recommendation and also AI ready. So in different directions related to item 18 and item 19 of open science recommendation. So this one is an example. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can open it. So we have a new platform for the China Science and the Technology Cloud from the different perspectives, including models and AI-ready data resources, open source software to support research teams within the Chinese Academy of Sciences and also some of the other user communities in China. And I will introduce some of the cases later. And I'm sorry. So there's something wrong with my computer.
It's not moving. Maybe you can share it again. Unshare.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can, yeah.
First router in China.
Yes, is
maybe you can unshare it and then share it again.
yes. Wait for a moment.
Yes.
Okay. And other and also IT federation that we already federated resources, open science resources with African Open Science Platform also signed the agreement with EGI of European Open Science Cloud. So I'll mention later that we have a lot of similar research questions related to what Matti has mentioned. And based on those open set,
you are
there.
Slide number 3 or number 4. You still see the history of the infrastructure related to open science.
Oh yeah, it's a brief introduction. So this is an overview about it, and later will be the concrete introduction. Yeah, and also the CAS Data Cloud is also under improvement with AI-ready resources. And National Basic Science Data Center supported by our center and open source software stack. This is 3 examples related to what colleagues has mentioned. And we have I think this another part is related to a persistent identifier cooperation related to what Mostafa has mentioned, and they also has cooperation with DataCite, and other services related to it. And publication link data, that's Science Data Bank. They also have a lot of AI-ready tools. And China Scientific Data, the data journal, and other directions, as Iryna has mentioned about IT capacity building, we have IT capacity building activities with international organizations. And we also support other directions related to open science, that's internet-based science communication. Related to the open science initiatives of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. And I think this part, okay. So this is because what we want to support about international cooperation, all of them are related to research ecosystem here in China. So this is about our connected research environment in China is already connected with 138 scientific elements. Matti has different use cases. I think a lot of them. This one is China Science and Technology Network. This could be used as an example to support a lot of international cooperation. Matti has mentioned WLCG that's supported by CAS Institute of High Energy Physics, and the CNIC support the international connectivity related to this, and also other big corporations related to SKA and other big corporation. And this is an update of our exchange points, and we are now improving the data exchange center in Singapore, and also with the other global partners in order to support more activities related to open science. And we also got approval. My colleagues from different directions also participated in the international cooperation program related to SKA. They are as partners of the IT partner here in China, because that facility is at the Shanghai Astronomical Observatory of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Also, different facilities related to it, like FAST and other research facilities. And this one is about, now we are doing we have the model as services that's based in different disciplines, because every disciplines they have different situations, and the data sets. CNIC CAS, we support the construction of 31 scientific data centers in different domains. So the AI-ready data resources here is provided by this collaborative data environment. And now the policy is that related to open and sharing data. So a lot of the open and sharing data are publication link data, but for those resources related to the data centers, the policy is that they're building the trusted data spaces, which means sometimes we don't move the data, but still can do some collaboration together. And the software and services is our open source software. We have that category. Another one is called Scientific Horizon. The reason is that in open science recommendation, it is mentioned that we need to automating the process using AI, but also addressing the potential risks and ethical issues related to AI. So that's why we feel that we need a benchmark and for related to scientific data centers and AI ready across domains. And this in this direction, we also have proposed IEEE working group related to the internet development of international standard. And now we are doing what is called everything as a module. We are doing this based on typical work of the research teams, like everyday research team, everyday activities of the research team. So it's not just open and sharing data, but also we also connected it with their communication tools and management data, because they have different activities like research projects and intellectual property and those type of information and like academic activities and training activities. So and other type of services in different scenarios. In every domain is very different. So what we are trying to do is we want to connect those together to make it as easy as possible for scientists to use. And this example is related to, I think is also related to what Matti has mentioned, because he has mentioned about that thinking about some type of data interoperability of satellite data, like survey data, like in different scenarios. And this is our cooperation with CAS institution of space informatics. They have the big data center for sustainable development. This is the cooperation, some activities organized and also use cases organized by China Science and Technology Cloud. Is related to IT Federation. They already have different use cases related to, for example, related to connection between research infrastructures like readers in and also publication health and related to biodiversity in nature reserves. And they also have the federated platform with Africa and Europe. And the African Open Science platform, they just organized a training workshop and using the federated resources from China. So although we didn't visit Africa for the training, for the capacity building activities, we can still work together for those type of training activities using these federated resources. So those are the news release published by our partners in Africa and Europe. And this is Science Data Bank. This type of data resources are different from the data centers. Data centers, they have very complicated, heterogeneous resources. And Science Data Bank, most of the open data resources are related to publication linked data, and they have a lot of cooperation, international cooperation. This is today's statistics of the most popular and most cited open data resources of Science Data Bank. So I think colleagues here has mentioned about the use cases related to disaster mitigation, and also in the European Open Science Cloud, and also other initiatives like in Africa. Also, they have some initiatives related to environment protection. So you can see that those type of topics that are very popular in international cooperation. So those open data resources are also the most popular and the most cited resources here of Science Data Bank. And another one is from FAST, and that's related to astrophysics. And if you are interested in, because Matti has just mentioned some use cases, I think if you are interested in this one, in 2 days, our center will organize this open data statement. This organize the research, our open data user communities here in China to have this webinar together with Springer Nature, Figshare, and other partners, and they will have different from different open data communities, including the meteorological data, National Meteorological Data Center, and National Agriculture Data Center, and also colleagues from the National High Physics Energy Data Center, and from other Earth Science Data Center related to disaster mitigation. So I think their concerns about open and sharing data are very similar to what colleagues here in APAN has mentioned. So if you are interested in understanding more about the ongoing open data activities here in China, you're welcome to participate in this webinar. And next, this is some AI-ready tools provided by Science Data Bank, and they also support the Open Data Initiative with global partners. This is this research direction is related to PID. They have a lot of cooperation with DataCite. They also organize a session at the internet during the International Data Week, and with colleagues here. With one of the most active, open and sharing data user communities here in China is the space user community. So they organize. That's why this group they organize the PID connectivity session with colleagues from DataCite and from the space open data community here in China, and also other colleagues. They have regular webinars. So also like in 2 days, they organize this with colleagues from different countries. This is a National Basic Science Data Center. So this data center is different. The data resources are different. They support the submission of the data related to national key research projects. In China, there are 20 scientific data centers. So if some of the research projects, they can find the specialized data center for data submission, they will submit it to that. So if they address a kind of a research question that has not national data center has not been approved, or they are addressing some of the cross-domain questions, usually they will submit the data resources here, and they have been approved from this year. This data center and with other, I think 7 of other national data centers, they just get approved from most for international cooperation, and some of them will work together for use cases together with the international community. Okay, this part, they participated in supercomputing conference in the US every year with colleagues here in China in CAS research institutions and universities, because in China we have a heterogeneous system. So in order to achieve interoperability with the international community, there will be a lot of challenges in the future. This is our use case to support also some type of global challenges out of CAS, like this one is related to MAB nature reserve here in China. We supported with university together to construct this to facilitate the construction of the cloud-based monitoring platform, which is also related to open science. And another activity is the science communication activity. We are doing them both on-site and also internet-based. So more colleagues, especially those colleagues from other fields and from the society, they could get access to this. And there's also science communication, and they have overseas platforms. They have overseas accounts of the Chinese Academy of Sciences related to this is also supported by our center. And capacity building activities. So we are also we are always very happy to support IT capacity building activities with colleagues in other countries and international organizations. Open source software stack. This is for IT federation with other continents. And this is for to support the construction of scientific data center and also the construction of data collaboration environment. And 3 of them are related to what colleagues has mentioned here. One is called data space. Data space is some type of data working space for scientific data centers for them to manage their research data. And InstaDB is a type of software to facilitate the publication, especially those type of open and sharing data system and related to data publication across different institutions. Another one is called the Data Lab. So Data Lab usually is like a trusted space. It includes different data analytics tools for cross-domain activities in a more secure environment. That's only some of the examples related to the almost all research clusters mentioned by colleagues here. So we have very similar user communities. That's my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any question from the floor? I don't know. No? Okay, not from the floor. And online? Yes or no? Oh, okay, no. Then thank you, Yushin.
Thank you.
Prof, please. Next speaker will be followed by I think the previous speaker talked about that is Professor Huang, Jinxia from the National Science Lab, also from the Chinese Academy of Science, and in the place of there are two more, Dr. Yumeng, and then Dr. Sugiura from UNESCO. So the title is the preliminary results from a regional survey on the open science infrastructure and interoperability practices in East Asia. The floor is yours.
Excuse me, can you share my?
Yeah, it's coming.
I'm sorry.
It's coming.
Yes, I will share my screen. Oh, which one?
No, you have to share it again.
Voilà.
Have to share it again.
Sorry, please for a while. Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. We will share the primary results from a regional survey on open science infrastructure
Sorry, please
in East Asia. Didn't share. Which one? 你刚打开了哪？对，刚刚打开，你直接点屏幕。
Yes.
Oh, okay. 你可以看。Yeah, can you see my screen?
Not yet. Coming. Okay, yes, we can see it.
Okay. We will share the primary results from the regional survey on open science infrastructure and interoperability practice in East Asia. This work, the presentation is by Dr. A and my colleague Yumeng and I. A is from UNESCO Regional Office. Yumeng and I is from National Science Library of CAS. Because of the business trip schedule, A cannot be here. She asked me to help her present the background session of the talk. This slide presents very preliminary results from the Eastern monitoring cycle of the UNESCO recommendation on open science, based on questionnaires submitted by selected member states in Southeast Asia and parts of Northeast Asia and parts of Southeast Asia in 2025. As a reminder, UNESCO recommendations are not legally binding instruments, unlike conventions, and do not require transposition into national regulation. However, once adopted, member states commit to a formal reporting obligation every 4 years, which allows UNESCO and member states to collectively track progress, identify gaps, and guide international cooperation. We're now at this initial reporting stage. Against this background, the slide summarized earlier trends. Most responding countries report that recommendation has been promoted or shared with relevant ministries and research institutes, often accompanied by national language dissemination and awareness activities. Uptake appears more systematic in Southeast Asia, where open science is frequently linked to national STI or basic plans, while implementation in Southeast Asia is more uneven and capacity-driven. Those findings should be read as a baseline snapshot rather than a comparative assessment. This slide builds on the preliminary snapshot by focusing on how open science is beginning to translate into research culture, as well as on the main challenges identified through the first reporting exercises. With responses indicate increasing efforts to promote open access, open data, open educational resources, and in some cases, citizen and community engagement. There is also growing awareness of the links between open science, research integrity, equity, and multilingual accessibility, which are particularly relevant in this region. At the same time, member states consistently point to structural bottlenecks. Those include fragmented infrastructures, limited interoperability, sustainability of financing for open science infrastructures, and persistent gaps in skills and institutional capacity. A recurring issue across both Northeast and Southeast Asia is a lack of incentive and evaluation systems that formally recognize open science practices. Taken together, those preliminary findings point to the need for stronger policy coherence, incentives reform, interoperable infrastructures, and inclusive capacity building as implementation of the recommendation progresses toward future reporting cycles. So there are some key questions raised. What does interoperability mean in the context of East Asia's diversity, technological, linguistical, and institutional environments? Is there a need for dedicated regional open science platform, or should be the focus be on connecting existing systems? Actually, in 2025, UNESCO Beijing office launched a program named entitled on Open Science Infrastructure and Interoperability Survey in East Asia. The survey aims to provide a comprehensive overview of existing open science infrastructures in East Asia, identify opportunities for shared resources, and consolidate the regional interoperabilities and implementations of interoperability. There are three key objects on this program: landscape assessment of open science infrastructures, understanding interoperability in the region, metadata in non-English languages, and its linkage with shared infrastructure and interoperability. So, in order to figure out this work, we first set up the work framework. So my colleague Yumeng will introduce the job.
Let's go on slide. Okay, according to the objectives in the beginning, we have investigated on the landscape of global OSIs. We also established an expert team from 4 countries, including China, Japan, South Korea, and Mongolia, and invite these experts to participate in several discussions. Second, we define the concept of OSIs in alignment with 2021 UNESCO recommendation on open science. We compiled a list of target respondents for OSIs in East Asia. Then we designed the questionnaire according to the investigation. This questionnaire is available in 4 language versions and split into 2 parts. Part 1 focuses on operation and service information about OSI. Part 2 explores the OSI's interoperability practices, including legal, organizational, technical, and semantic interoperability. We have distributed more than 300 questionnaires using email dissemination and distribution by experts in their own countries. As for the investigation results on global OSIs, first is operation. It shows a strong reliance on public funding. Second is surface. Insufficient capacity of AI and multi-languages to empower OSI's service often arises. Third is resource governance. The principle focusing on the fair use of data and ethical compliance show a low implementation rate. The last is interoperability. There is a lack of mature semantic cross-border collaboration mechanisms and practical cases. Now I will present the analysis results of this questionnaire survey. We have received 74 responses. The OSIs participating in this survey were concentrated within universities or research institutes. In the last 2 years, government grants or research funding constitute the predominant income sources. The unstable funding and financial pressure from software or hardware upgrades constitute the main economic sustainability challenges. Regarding language support, most OSIs offer interfaces and content only in their respective national languages and English. OSIs still focus on supporting the later stages of the research life cycle. Preservation and publishing. The second part addresses interoperability practices of OSIs in East Asia. First is legal interoperability. Nearly 80% comply with open standards or practicals. According to the surveyed OSIs, the most effective measures to promote cross-border data sharing are the adoption of common data standards and the development of secure and compliant cross-border data platforms. Secondly, regarding organizational interoperability, 64% in Japan have governance structures and policies coordinated with domestic institutions, while only 34% in China have done so. In terms of cross-border organizational coordination, nearly 80% OSIs have not yet established governance structures and policies. Differences in national legals and policies is recognized as the most important difficulty in cross-organizational policy coordination. Here is the technical interoperability. There are significant differences in the open source. Japan shows a relatively high level with 80% platforms being fully or partially open sourced, diverse data or metadata formats, and security compliance risks are regarded as the biggest technical obstacles limiting interoperability. The last is semantic interoperability. Preset rules or templates are the most widely adopted semantic annotation technologies for OSI's metadata. primary challenges in multilingual metadata management include linguistic and script diversity, high maintenance costs. At last, some conclusions are drawn based on the survey results. On the one hand, we can make assessment on the landscape of OSIs in East Asia. The income structure shows a significant reliance on public funding for OSIs operation. OSIs rarely support for other East Asian languages, and most OSIs offer global services, support for earlier stages, such as knowledge creation and research evaluation is comparatively underdeveloped. On the other hand, we can understand interoperability in East Asia. Most OSIs have generally recognized the importance of standardized and legal use of data. For organizational coordination, the work in establishing and operating cross-border coordination mechanisms is still in initial stage. For technical interoperability, there are differences in the external integration and open source of OSIs among countries. The semantic annotation of OSIs metadata is dominated by practical technologies with low technical threshold. Compared with the results of global investigation, OSIs in East Asia share common characteristics and challenges with global OSIs, while also having its own unique issues. To foster collaboration and strengthen OSIs in East Asia, in alignment with the 2021 UNESCO recommendation on open science, this strategic recommendation calls on infrastructure facilities in East Asia to collaborate a highly open and high-quality network of OSIs. Firstly, co-building an infrastructure network with expanding scale and potential. The ownership and governance of the infrastructure and its resources should be legally recognized and protected. Secondly, implementing open principles and unifying standards on infrastructures. The scientific community should break down technical barriers between different infrastructures. They adhere to international standardized procedures. Thirdly, shared infrastructures to promote sustainable development. Disciplines should work towards forming collaborative clusters for OSI, enabling joint efforts to address global challenges such as climate change. Firstly, monitoring to enhance mutual trust on infrastructures. We should respect cultural diversity and discipline differences. Flexible adjust the quality standards for OSI construction. Then follows the practical recommendations for enhancing interoperability. To improve legal interoperability, promoting mutual recognition of data usage terms among countries is essential for cross-border data sharing. As differences in national policies have influenced the organizational interoperability, UNESCO could take the lead in establishing an OSI coordination center to develop transnational governance frameworks and policy coordination mechanisms to improve technical interoperability. It is important to promote open source code and build regional technical support tools open to countries in East Asia. Regarding the semantic interoperability, actions should include collaboratively developing regional corpus of scientific resources and multilingual domain ontology and developing multilingual metadata standards and intelligent cross-lingual mapping tools. Okay, the above is the preliminary results so far. For countries with fewer respondents, we will make effort to increase the number and get more comprehensive analysis results. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, because we run over time, so I think no question for the last speaker. Thank you. The last speaker, Dr. Jyoti Bajaj from the ThaiREN Francis, and then she talk about the research intricity. The floor is yours. Please share your
thank
slide.
you so much. Yeah, I'll just share my slides. Is my screen visible? Can you please confirm?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Please
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Yeah, thanks so much. Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Jyoti Bajaj. I am the Senior Manager for B2C at ThaiREN Francis Group. For journals, I'm going to cover some quick tips on publishing ethics and research integrity in scholarly publishing. ThaiREN Francis is one of the world's leading academic publishers committed to scholarly excellence and integrity since our founding in 1798. As you can see on the slides, we actually host more than 2,500 journals, and we also offer, sorry, I'll just move back on the slide. Yeah, we also offer a lot of imprints with ThaiREN Francis, which includes Routledge, CRC Press, POJ, and FN1000 Research, and Dove Medical Press as well. We are also known as a pioneers of open access publishing, and we also host more than 200,000 book titles. So research integrity, talking about research integrity in particular, this forms the foundation of credible scientific research. Some of the presentations that we have already seen here have touched upon research integrity as one of the main focuses for researchers, for institutions as well. So I'd like to walk you through the 5 core elements that define ethical research practice. These aren't just theoretical concepts, these are actually practical principles that guide every decision we make as researchers. One is honesty. That is the cornerstone of all the research that is happening. So this means being truthful in reporting methods, results, and conclusions. Second is transparency. That means making our research process visible and accessible. This includes clear documentation of methodologies, open sharing of data where possible, and providing sufficient detail for others to understand and potentially replicate our work. Third is accountability. That means taking responsibility for our research decisions and their consequences. This means being answerable to our peers, to our institutions and society for the quality and the impact of work we are doing. We also hold ourselves accountable to the ethical standards and, the regulatory requirements throughout the research process. Fourth is respect, which means honoring the dignity of research participants, colleagues, and the broader community. This encompasses the informed consent, protecting participant privacy, acknowledging collaborators' contributions, and treating all stakeholders with dignity. And the last one is rigor. That means maintaining the highest standards of scientific methodology. And this involves careful experimental design, appropriate statistical analysis, a systematic peer review, and critical evaluation of our own work. Rigor ensures that our conclusions are well supported and our contributions to knowledge are robust and reliable. So these 5 elements, honesty, transparency, accountability, respect, and rigor, these all elements work together as an integrated framework. So these are not the separate checkboxes, but interconnected principles that reinforce each other. And when we embrace all 5 elements, we not only protect the integrity of our individual research, but also strengthen the credibility of the science as a whole. So one thing to remember here when it comes to publication ethics is that we're all responsible for this. Authors are responsible for the integrity of the work, as I just explained in my previous slide. Institutions play a very key role in ensuring that right ethical approval procedures are in place to ensure that research is conducted responsibly at those institutions. Editors are responsible for ensuring that the right checks have been done on the manuscript that has been submitted. Reviewers are responsible for answering the questions asked of them regarding the validity and the novelty of the work. And publishers are responsible for making sure that the work that we publish and disseminate to the rest of the world has that integrity and the research can be trusted. So we all have a collective responsibility in this regard, and anybody sitting in the room in any of these, coming from any of these places, we know how we are kind of accountable for the research that is happening. So specifically for the authors, I'm going to share 5 key tips. So the first one is really thinking about the authorship early on. Who should be an author? Understand the criteria of the authorship and the responsibilities that come with that authorship. So ensure that anyone that meets the criteria has been included in the author list on the paper, and be aware of the roles and responsibilities of the corresponding author so that you choose the right corresponding author within your group. The corresponding author is responsible for ensuring that all authors agree on which journals to submit the manuscript to, and that all authors agree to any changes being introduced in the manuscript, including any changes in the author list as well, and ensuring that all relevant declarations have been made by all co-authors. Please know that AI tools must not be listed as an author, and its use must be stated along with how and why the tool was used. Tip 2, securely store original data and be ready to share if requested. And I think we have seen from the previous presentations, this is becoming more and more common practice that journals either mandate data sharing, or they at very least expect you to be able to share if requested at any point of time or at the stage during submission or even after publication. So please make sure that all your original data is clearly labeled and stored. You're ready to share all of these files with the journal if and when requested, and ensure that the details of the participants are also anonymized in any data sets that you need to share. So you're still responsible for the data that you are sharing, and that you're sharing the data responsibly. Tip 3, prior to submission, the recommendation is that you check what the journal instructions are. For what the journal you've chosen, check what are the editorial policies on that journal, check what is mandatory for that journal, because this may vary between different journals. You need to make sure that you can comply with any mandatory policies of that journal that you wish to submit your manuscript to. Otherwise, what will happen is that you will end up wasting a lot of time and you would want to avoid it, right? So check the editorial policies. If there's anything mandatory like data deposition, data sharing policies, and registration policies, and have them ready at the time of submission of the manuscript to the journal that you want to submit to. Tip 4, include declarations on ethical conduct of the study and any competing interest. So include all of those key ethical approval statements, include information on informed consent if your study includes research participants, that is human subjects. Think about the ethics of the data that you may be using in the research, which can potentially impact the privacy. If anyone can be potentially identified, please make sure you have consent to publish and you have declared that in your submission as well. And include all of the competing interest statements and funding information for all the listed co-authors. And also acknowledge the assistance by anyone or anything, including any kind of large language models like ChatGPT, because you do need to be transparent about what you've used as part of your research. And the final tip, cite all the relevant sources and previous versions and obtain permissions for reuse. Make sure that anything that you are citing is appropriate, is balanced, and is a relevant and reliable source. If there's any previous full versions of the article that exist online or in any other citable format, then make sure that these are cited and make sure you have been transparent about it. Ensure that permissions have been obtained from the copyright and license holder or owner of any third-party content. So if you're using any images or models, for example, that you haven't produced originally or that belong to a third party, make sure that you have the correct permissions in place and make sure you declare that. And finally, of course, follow the ethical guidance for use of any content, including from social media. So hopefully, if you follow all of these quick tips, you will be able to avoid some preventable problems as well. And lastly, about ThaiREN Francis. ThaiREN Francis is a leading global publishing house dedicated to supporting academic community. Our mission is to empower researchers, institutions, and organizations by fostering collaboration, innovation, and impactful knowledge sharing. And we also support institutions and consortiums with platform training and webinars on how to publish. ThaiREN Francis is also committed to drive digital growth by expanding access to high quality scholarly ebooks and journals through strategic partnerships, market development, and licensing models. So we have the QR code here. If you would like to collaborate, if you have any questions that you can think of later, and if you would like to connect with us, please feel free to scan the QR code and fill up this form to register your interest with us. And that's all about my presentation for today. Thank you so much. For more resources, I have also shared a link here, which I can open and share with you. I hope you can again see my screen. This is our web page on publishing ethics and research integrity. We have all the information here. ThaiREN Francis is a member of STM as well as SCOPE, and we work very actively on research integrity and publication ethics. We have all the resources here for the editors, for the authors and researchers as well. You can go here and find out more information about research integrity and ethics. We have also collaborated to make a research integrity toolkit that you can use and find it handy for your research at any point of time. That's all I wanted to share. Do I have any questions from anybody in the room?
Question. No, no question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jyoti.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody, to kindly support us on the give us a talk, give us the information. So any further discussion, or it's like 30 minutes, 34, 35 minutes over. I hope that the coffee break still there for you. Hopefully so. And then the online online speaker and participant, thank you very much.